Okay guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. I am Kiki Said So. If you're new here, welcome. And if you've been watching, well, thank you for coming back. Okay, so hopefully you watched the 2023 wrap up, part one already. So we went from May through part of September and we ended on my birthday trip. If you haven't watched it, stop what you're doing right now, click this link right here and go ahead and watch that video. Now, moving on to the next part. So we're going to start off with the wrap up of the Last Call tour. With the start of the Last Call tour, and we'll finish that out because that's what finished 2023 for cocktails, touring live, and other updates that happen throughout the year. Right now, I'm cooking dinner. It's late, so I'm going to try and go quick. I'm going to make some roasted sweet potatoes. I make this a lot, and I just use a bunch of different spices, cook it in the oven, dice them up into small cubes so that it cooks quicker and it's tasty. I mix it with chorizo for breakfast. I just use it as a side at night. I'll be wanting candied yams, but can't have that every day. And then I'm gonna do some orange pepper salmon, and then also some sauteed spinach with some chopped egg on there for a little extra protein. So I'm gonna cook. I'm gonna try to record what I'm doing so y'all can see it if you care. This isn't a recipe video. I'm just continuing to catch up. Okay, so we did the Last Call tour, not because it's the last tour ever, although we do not have any plans right now for any tours. There's no secret releases coming out or anything like that. Right now we just are focusing on what we can do with the show. But we did the Last Call tour. It was, we started off September 29th in New York at Sony Hall. Then we did a show in Charlotte at the Comedy Zone, which we did that last year. Well, year before last now, 2022. Then we went to Chicago at City Winery. Then we did a new city, St. Louis, at the end of October. And then November, I want to say it was the 3rd and the 5th, we did Philly, City Winery, and then the Howard Theater in DC. So overall, the tour was good. These were some of my favorite shows just because we put a lot more into them. I think that for the most part, our chemistry was better. We had some added entertainment. We teamed up with a company called The Sweet Spot. Now, The Sweet Spot is a burlesque group, and they do shows all over the world. So if you should check them out. But if you ever see that The Sweet Spot is performing in your city, you definitely should go. I had never been to like a true burlesque show. I've seen burlesque dancers at different like places, but never a true show like that. And they really do put on a show. Now, admittedly, when they were first telling us about the show, about their show, they were saying like, basically, they had a lot of like production notes and all this stuff. And it's like, okay, but y'all segmenting the show. It's not like we're doing the whole show together. We just weren't sure. So they invited us to one of their shows in New York. So we got to go. I forget the name of the venue that it was at. It was somewhere in Brooklyn. But Medina and I went, and it was really, really good. And once we saw the show, we were like, okay, we see what you mean, and like all the moving pieces. And it was also good to work with people who have been doing like live shows like that, where they're not just talking. They have a ton of different acts and they're really entertaining people. And because they're not talking, like their performance skills have to be up there because you have a host who's actually hosting the whole show. Not like when we say we have a host, but really we mean we have an opener and they just crack a few jokes or warm up the crowd and go on. These people are working the show throughout the night. So, okay, so in August, we actually went and did that. I think I left that out. And me, Medina, Mandy went. We met the people from Susie in New York. Well, I had never met them, but I know Mandy knew them. And I think Medina had met them before. Anyway, they were really cool. We hung out with them after the show. And then we like walked to a couple bars, had some drinks. And then we ended up all just going our separate ways and calling it a night. But the show was really good. So after that, we locked in the deal with the Sweet Spot to go ahead and have them as part of the show. Now, they couldn't do every single date, but they did do New York. They did DC and Philly. I got a dog. I don't know if I mentioned that before, and I'm just trying to see what she's doing over there. Whitley, you okay? All right. She likes to be right up under me. So anyway, make sure she be sniffing around. I gotta make sure she's not trying to poop inside because she's still potty training and it's freaking cold outside. She just tricked me and I went outside with her so that she could pee. We come inside, not even 60 seconds later, she's peeing on my rug. I'm gonna have to get rid of that rug. Anyway, so we decided to work with them, and they have Ainsley, who hosts their shows. He's one of the owners of the Sweet Spot. He opened up for us in the different cities. They played this really fun game that's a scavenger hunt, and it's a scavenger hunt that they play with the audience. And we saw it. I was like, oh, we've got to have them do that at our show. And they were asking for things like a bra, a condom, a leather belt, like random things that people would have on them. And it was just fun. And they divided the room up into teams. It just turned out really good. Then they had at the New York show, we had Right Now Rouge. She was a burlesque performer. She's really, really good at their show in New York. She performed twice, I believe. And the song, one of the things that we were a little iffy about was the song that they sent us was slow. And so we were like, I mean, I know it's sexy and stuff, but we want to have a high energy show. We don't want people falling asleep. And we just want to make sure that we give you guys the best show possible. But then once we saw how she performs, it was really good. And then Eva Mystique, sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. She did our DC show. And Right Now Rouge did Philly as well. So they did those shows and they just had really great performances. Everybody was super professional. They had a model who comes with them, and I don't know if he drives or if he's security or what, but he had like 2 jobs, but he came. And so that was some nice eye candy for the ladies. We had a photo booth that was there called Snappy Booth. So we took this picture and they printed them out. I always think it's cool when they do printouts. I always think it's cool when they do the printouts like old school photo booth style so that you can get them instead of just the text or the email, because sometimes, I don't know about y'all, but I don't always get them. Anyway, the weather was horrible. When we got to New York, it was just okay. But then the next day, it was like a literal state of emergency. Subways were shut down. So many things. It was like what could go wrong was going wrong. A lot of people didn't come to the show because they couldn't make it out. They couldn't take the train, or like I saw for myself, I was trying to get my makeup done. My makeup appointment was far. It was going to cost like $300 in an Uber one way. And they were taking forever. Initially it was like $65, but then only the Uber Black seemed to be coming. And then when I put it in for Uber Black, I saw that and I was like, no, it's cheaper for me to go to Sephora, buy new makeup, pay the cancellation fee for my makeup appointment and everything. Luckily, that artist, I told her what was going on. And she was like, it's cool. I'm not going to even charge you. Don't worry about it. So that was nice. Tired of chopping these. I need a better veggie chopper. I have that KitchenAid thing, but I don't know if it's going to dice it in nice, neat squares. So I'm just not even going to worry about it. But anyway, performers were great. Everything was great. Some of my friends came out and came to the show. They came from out of town. It was really good. Everything was great. I'm appreciative of everybody who braved the weather. Like even Mandy was like, well, maybe I should talk to the venue and like see if maybe you could do a show a different day this weekend or something like that. And I was like, girl, we can't be doing all that. It just is what it is. Whoever comes, and that's what it's going to be. So that was a great turnout. Oh, I was talking about Angela Yee. So went on Angela Yee's show, and Stephanie and Gigi were there. We actually ended up doing an episode with Gigi. Y'all should check that out. It's like episode 360 something. I'll link it right here, of cocktails. She was a great guest, and she really has a story. I saw that the Magic City documentary that she was telling us about when she came on the show is gonna be a part of something. I don't know if it was South by Southwest or something else that's coming up. I don't know, but it's about to be out to be seen, and I definitely want to check it out when I'm able, because it sounded really interesting, and I can't wait for her book to come out because I really want to hear more of her story. She was just really interesting to me, and some of the stories I had seen before or heard of before, but still, sorry, trying to fix this other thing. So got all these cameras on. So anywho, I'm just gonna use gloves, use my hands, so that'll make it easier and quicker, and I won't be dirtying up as many dishes. Okay, so yeah, so it was a full circle moment because when I was at Howard and I started, I went to Howard with a major in political science. I thought I was going to go to law school and take that route. And then I realized, like, while I was there, that one, that's not what I was truly interested in. And I was allowing other people, like my parents, my family, to influence me. And they were telling me I should use that major to go to law school, which I didn't have to have that major to go to law school. So I don't know. I just was not getting the best advice, and I wasn't doing what was best for me. And so I changed my major to, I'll put this fajita seasoning in there too. I like when it has a little Southwest taste. I changed my major to broadcast journalism, but I had to wait a certain amount of time just because of the rules that they had. But when in the process of doing that, one of my friends, Nia, she was telling me about Angela Yee. So I wasn't familiar with Angela Yee. I wasn't familiar with a lot of radio personalities who weren't like Wendy Williams or people I knew from back home, because this is all, stop, Whitley. This is all new to me. I had never considered this before. Okay, I'm going to put these on a pan and let them roast for about 20-30 minutes. The smaller the potato, the quicker they'll roast, and I'm roasting them at 425. Whitley, stop that. Why are you chewing up my walls? That's not nice. I drizzled the pan with olive oil, and then I'm putting red pepper flakes on top to add a little extra spice. Okay, next, I saw the seasoning online, the Badia brand seasonings. They had the orange pepper, lemon pepper, and lime pepper. I like their lemon pepper, so I decided to try it. I am squeezing some fresh lemon juice into... some fresh lemon juice. This is going to go on the salmon. I'm going to put a little honey in here and a little dash of soy, and then I'm going to mix that together and kind of make like a little glaze to go on top, and then season the fish itself with some dry seasonings, because I'm going to pan sear it, and then I'm going to finish it off in the oven, put a few orange slices on top to make it cute. Yeah. So anyway, Angela Yee had lip service that was on Sirius XM or whatever it was at the time, and then she did the Breakfast Club, and I liked lip service. And then when lip service became a podcast, I wanted to do something similar, and that's how Cocktails was born, because I liked her show, but the people that I was hearing when I was watching the videos on YouTube were all celebrities. And I thought it would be cool to do it with regular people, everyday people who, you know, there's no draw that they're famous, but their experiences could be something to talk about, you know? So yeah, so I was telling her that, and it was cool to do, and that they were able to make it happen because it took a lot. We were emailing a lot, like the producer, so many times, but it all worked out. Do I want to do, oh, and then I'm going to slice some. Okay, so, done with this, and just move that out of the way. Okay, I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing here. Let me get this on. What was I saying? Angeli doing that show. Got to hang out with my friends. We went to that. What kind of orange is this? Why does it look like this? It's a navel orange. I don't like the ones that look like this. Girl, hold on. I gotta figure this out. I should have done it the other way. This is not very cute. Oh well, we're here now. It'll be better like this. I don't know what I'm doing with the rest of these orange slices. Put it in some water. I don't know. Anyway, you can cut all that out. So we went to the Brooklyn Museum for Jay-Z, and I just wanted to see more Beyonce. I mean, I know it's Jay-Z's museum, and he is very successful in his own right, but I didn't really care about none of that. I got a fish platter outside, and that's where we went before we went to that show. I mean, before we went to lip service. So then hung out with my friends that night. It was a good time. My friend Grace came, and I didn't know if she was going to make it because she was pregnant. And I just be feeling like, if you're pregnant, you may want to sit down. But hey, what do I know? So then after lip service, the museum, going out, hanging out with friends, and all that jazz, we had gone to Full Court Studios to record a couple episodes. So we did an episode with Jared from the You Up podcast, and he's also a comedian. I forget his last name off the top of my head, but it's probably because I'm hungry. And there's too many things on my mind. So anyway, we recorded an episode with him. And then we recorded the infamous episode with Mandy that totally went left. And then we recorded a bonus episode with my friend Thomas. We never put the episode out. That day just ended up being really, really like emotional. And just so many things were said, so many things happened. There were just so many feelings. And then there were other things happening at the same time. It was just a hectic day. And so the episode didn't go how I thought it would. I didn't know that they hadn't talked because we had all been together the month prior, like in August for the thing. And there were just a lot of things that I didn't know. But, you know, things happen, and the episode still went out. I felt bad because there were a couple of parts that were supposed to be edited out. And I said I would edit it out, but when I was editing, by the time I got to editing, there were just so many pieces to edit out and so many things to remember. And the way that I edit is not, I don't sit there and listen to the whole episode. A lot of times I'm reading a transcript just to move quicker, and I rely a lot on my memory, which I haven't been doing as much lately because of that. And, you know, I just do things in a way that works for my time and everything. So anyway, some stuff got left in there. I ended up going back and cutting it out. But, you know, folks were still mad, and I get it. But it was something that it was an honest mistake, and yeah. So then we recorded some more when we got back to Atlanta. Well, let me back up. We did have a talk off camera, if anybody was wondering. And I need my white pepper. I be liking to put black pepper and stuff sometimes because I I don't want it to have all those black specks. I kind of got a few pieces in there, but it really don't matter because I'm going to broil it. Stuff is going to get dark anyway. I'm not going to sweat it. So I just put orange juice, the fresh orange juice, some honey, some butter, a little bit of salt, white pepper. I'm going to put a little garlic powder in there and some soy sauce and just let this get kind of syrupy and cook down. I'm not cooking the salmon in this. I'm just going to cook it separate, and then I'll cook the salmon in something else. Let me turn the heat up because this one is like my simmer one. So anyway, we'll let that cook down. I have the boiled eggs over here that are still going. I read somewhere that if you put eggs in a pot, bring them to a boil uncovered, and then cover it, turn the heat off, and if you like them hard boiled, let them sit for 12 minutes, rinse them off with cold water, peel them. You'll have perfect eggs every time. And it works. Sometimes I'll be dropping the eggs in there and don't realize it. So they be busted open, but whatever, because I'm just going to chop them. And then let me check on the sweet potatoes. See what they're looking like. Looking good. Give them a little shake. That's what they look like right now. Okay. So anyway, we talked on the phone and we talked about some things, and I was hoping that having a talk would help us to move forward, because that's what I'm all about. And if we're still going to do the show and things are going to move on, we do have to address things like that. And then we recorded some more episodes, and then we had our next live show, which was in Charlotte. So the Charlotte live show, I ended up having surgery on my foot the day after the Charlotte live show. So that show was on the 15th. My surgery was on the 16th. And it just, I don't know if I regret the surgery. I have mixed feelings about it. On one hand, I'm glad that I did the surgery. And then on the other hand, okay, that's the timer for that. I don't know, because some days I'm still having pain. The surgery was extremely painful. I'm not 100% happy with the results. And I just don't know. It's like surgery. So I had really high hopes, but let me just tell y'all, it was a lot. I was crying. I was in so much pain. And so when we recorded, I was kind of nervous. The episodes that we did beforehand, I was kind of nervous. I think those episodes, it was just the two of us, but I had just got my hair cut short, which I need to get cut, by the way, because it has grown out so much these past couple of months. But I wanted to get the surgery done. I've been thinking about it for a while, and the surgery I got was a bunion removal surgery. I don't know if I wanted to share it or not, but hey, why not? So I got it, and I got it done here in Atlanta, and there's a bunch of different types of surgeries that you could do, and one thing that made me nervous, which is why I'm not happy, is that, one thing that made me nervous was that the doctor was saying that while it's a very routine surgery and she doesn't think that there will be complications, sometimes things may be overcorrected or undercorrected. So if you don't know what a bunion is, it's the bone that's like underneath the big toe, and it goes out and it can cause your toes to kind of go like in or overlap. Just, it's not cute. And above it being like a cosmetic thing is really painful. So anyway, I got it done on my right foot. I was in a surgical boot for a long time, and it was hard to walk. I was like having to hobble to the bathroom. This particular doctor was big on like recovery and not using crutches or wheelchair stuff. I ended up buying a scooter off of Amazon, like a knee scooter, and I was kick pushing it because that was just too much. I'm like hopping to the bathroom. I fell so many times. I fell and hit my injured foot multiple times, even just trying to get from the car to my scooter. I had to rely on people for so many things. And then it's like, luckily I have people in my life who were more than willing to help me, and I'm forever grateful for that. But then it's like, you don't want to be a burden. You know what I mean? So it was just a lot of emotions, and I wasn't feeling myself. There were other things going on. I just was not in a good mood from like October till I got Whitley. So do the show in Charlotte. The show in Charlotte was good. I had my short haircut. I was feeling myself. My friends Tiffany and Raven drove down with me because we had to drive back right after the show so that I could make it to the surgery in time. So make it to the surgery. I had to stay at the facility from that Monday till Thursday is when I got out, and then I could finally go home. And then Thursday was the day that the episode came out. So then getting all these messages from different people, not people I know, but different people. And then the Horrible Decision show was that night. I rolled my butt in there with the scooter. I should have probably stayed home, but I went to support, and like Mandy made it out in the storm to come to our show. So I'm like, I'm going to be sitting down. I don't have to do anything. I'm not going to a party or anything. I went to the show and I had a good time. They did an excellent job. I thoroughly enjoyed the show. I went with Dre and Lex. We had a blast. So go to the show, had a good time, and then the following week we recorded again, and I think that's when we had Gigi and we had Camille on. And Camille was a blind guest. She was also a really, really good guest. And I always find it interesting when you talk to people about everyday experiences that are not so easy, or seemingly not so easy. Because it's like little things. Like I'll go out and hang out and have drinks and stuff, and I take an Uber so I don't have to worry about driving. But like, but I can still see. I can still, pay attention to things. But like, how do you do that when you can't see? Who do you trust? Do you always go out with other people? How often can you do things just on your own? It's things like that we got to ask her. And so I enjoyed that. And then again, I already told y'all I enjoyed talking to Gigi. And then I called my brother because I was like, okay, this is a lot harder adjusting to having this boot. I had to finish out the tour in the boot. And I called my brother to see if he was willing to come out and help me. And like, I was like, it's not like normal help. It's like, I really need real help. Y'all, that boy got out there and he was trying to have a good time and meet folks, and I get it, but I was like, Joseph, I really need you. So anyway, we do the show in Chicago, then we went to St. Louis. Somewhere along the way, we're outside of the hotel, and I'm trying to like help as best I can. I mean, all I can do is like look at stuff and give people instructions or whatever. And Medina's like, no, Kiki, you go inside, I got it. Joseph's like, yeah, I got it. Well, between the two of them, they didn't watch the scooter, my niece's scooter, get put in the car. And so it got left in Chicago. So then the rest of the time in St. Louis, I'm like hobbling around with my boot. Then we lost my brother one night. And it was a time, okay? But overall, those shows were still cool. We had never done a live show in St. Louis. I went to St. Louis years ago because my dad used to live there. And so I went to visit him, and I had to get some ribs while I was there. I honestly thought they were too salty, but whatevs. Different strokes for different folks. Okay, so I am gonna start cooking this. Okay, so anyway, we finished out those shows, made it back safely. I was just like, I just won't ask him again. Then the next weekend, those were back-to-back weekends. The next weekend, we went to Philly, and that show was really good. There were a few hecklers in that crowd, which is always weird to me. I'm like, what is going on? Is it the alcohol? Are people feeling impatient? Like, I would be wondering what's going on. Like, why are y'all interrupting us? We saw talk. We started the show on time. Excellent entertainment. We played some games. We had giveaways. Like, it was a good time. So I don't know, but we had that, and it was all good. And then we took the train. We took the train from Chicago to St. Louis, and we took the train from Philly to DC. What else happened in those days? Oh, okay. So that kind of wrapped up the tour. I was really happy to do the show in DC at Howard because y'all know I went to Howard, and I'm gonna say it every time I think of it. I went to Howard, and when I was there, that theater was not open; it was closed. And so to be able to go back all these years later, and the theater is open, and to be able to perform there and have a show was an amazing crowd. Was amazing. My friend Marcel came out. Raven came out. Thomas couldn't make it because something happened with his job or something. Nia was at the Philly show. Grace came to DC, pregnant and all, and she was helping. We had the sweet spot there. Our photo booth didn't show up in Philly or DC, so that really sucked. But, you know, you win some, you lose some. And Marcel, he missed the show again because he was there, but he had so much fun before we came out. I think he saw us come out, and he had danced himself into a frenzy. So we hung out the next day. And also shout out to Story King Grant. Story King Grant is a friend of mine. He was our DJ for the tour. He did some dates for the Last Call tour, but he was our official DJ not for the Last Call. He was official DJ for Last Call. He did some shows for the Dirty Little Secrets, and it was great working with him, easy working with him. He also connected us to so many different people along the way. And if we ever do live shows again, I would absolutely work with him. And if y'all are interested in booking a DJ, he's in New York, but he does travel. Highly recommend. So it was bittersweet, it being the end of the tour, but I was happy to have that off my plate and be able to focus on other things, because as fun as it is and as grateful as I am to be able to do this, because everybody doesn't get you, it's tiresome. So I was happy to be done with that, and then just focus on more personal things and just the regular show itself, because sometimes it feels like that can suffer a bit when we're stretched too thin. So anyway, wrapped up the tour, went back home, spent some time at home, and then my friend Grace, who is having a baby, her water broke today actually, and so she should be having her baby soon. She had a baby shower, so I flew to Philly, and then me, Thomas, and Nia drove us. We went to Cape May, where she's from, and so I got to see Cape May. I had heard so much about it, never been. It was very small. I was not expecting it to be such a small place. But we went there and met her boyfriend and saw her sister. We know her sister. She was at the Philly show with us a few weeks before. And just to catch up and celebrate her new little baby snowflake. We don't know if it's a boy or a girl, and she's not telling us. And she probably won't say nothing online for 6 months. So there's that on that. Potatoes are done. Okay, so while this is going, I'm actually going to go ahead and start on the spinach. I'm just going to move this over, turn this off. But these are the power burners. I'll use that. Okay. Put it over here. Once it comes time, and then I'm gonna flip this over, and then I'll transfer it to the oven to finish it off in the oven. I bought one of these. I don't really know that it works the greatest. We're gonna see. Hold on. That looks beautiful. Well, it looks great. heat up, and then pull it out, put the glaze on top and the oranges, and we'll finish out the salmon. And then kind of heat up on this so we can get this spinach done, and then it's bon appetit. So anyway, did the baby shower, and that was cool. Got to hang out with Thomas. I went to Reading Terminal, and I'm still in love. Next time I go to Philly, I'm like, I've been to Philly a few times, but why has nobody ever taken me here? It's like so many different shops with all these different restaurants, and like food you can buy, like groceries, just so much stuff. I was in heaven. So anyway, did that, and then it was Thanksgiving. So then I went to Texas for Thanksgiving, and that was a good time. I spent time with my friends and my family. My friend Sandra hosted Thanksgiving this year, so I spent Thanksgiving dinner with them. I didn't think that my family in Texas was going to do anything. My sister usually goes to her in-laws, and then we were all going to Louisiana that weekend because we were celebrating my grandfather's 80th birthday. So my stepdad's brother and him hosted something at their place. So went over there, and it was at 12 o'clock. That is too early for Thanksgiving. I don't care what anybody says. It's too early. I'm not a senior citizen. So then I went to Sandra's house, and that was a really good time. She did not do a traditional meal, which I can appreciate, because sometimes like the whole let's have turkey and all of the Negro sides, it's just like, again, can we have some variety? Where is it? So anyway, did that. I didn't cook anything, and it was funny because when her husband was like blessing the food, saying grace, he had said, like, you know, bless me and Sandra for making the food. And I'm like, I didn't do anything. I poured Sandra's wine while she cooked, but it was nice to like not have the pressure to have to cook and make stuff, because I was still in that boot and my foot was hurting. I was trying to transition to shoes, but that was hard. Okay, so let me put the party for my grandfather. So we did a Motown themed party, and my uncle Lamar and his wife Allison came out from LA, and then me and my aunt Sean came out from, you know, Atlanta. The Texas family, a lot of people came. Some of his old band students came. So many people came, and it was a great turnout. I did a vlog on that, so I won't even talk about it too much, but I did a whole vlog on that, and it's not a lot to it because we didn't film a whole lot of things, so we were really just trying to enjoy our time with him. But we did make a video to give him. Now he can't see, but he could hear, and we shared some memories and just well wishes, and it was his 80th birthday, so it turned out great. Then let's see. Okay, so then we get to December. Did anything eventful happen in December? Oh, I'll probably do a whole nother vlog just dedicated to the experience, or maybe it'll be a Patreon vlog. But I went to Jamaica for the first time, and I went to hedonism. So I went with the Worst Behavior Tour. It was a great experience. It was something that I had never done before, never been to a place like that. If you don't know what Hedonism 2 is, just look up Hedonism 2 Resort in Negril, Jamaica. It was a time. We recorded some bonus content with different people who were there on the trip while we were in Jamaica. And there's 4 episodes. They're all available on Patreon right now. So you can go to patreon.com/cocktails and check those out. I got an influx of new people in my book club. And so we're always accepting new people. If you don't finish the book, don't be shy. Like, sometimes I don't read the book or I miss the book. And so if you're a stickler for everybody reading everything and you want to have these deep conversations, we're not the book club for you, but we really enjoy socializing with each other, talking about different books and the types of books. We choose different types of books every month, but they are typically fiction. We've done a few autobiographies, but typically we're doing fiction. And then starting in February, I'm going to add a second book that will be a nonfiction book for people to read, and we may or may not discuss it in the group, but I'll just add it on as a bonus book, as a recommendation. We won't do polls on that one because we do vote for books, but we'll keep it light for our main discussion. And then if anybody's looking for something else, and maybe I'll add, depending on the interest with that, I will add on another meeting to discuss that, or maybe we'll do it during the meeting. I don't know, but I want to see where people's interests lie and see how that goes. I made my plate and it's beautiful, but I'm gonna clean up some of this mess first and finish updating you guys. Yeah, we did the bonus episodes on Patreon and we had different people on there, and then we talked about it briefly on cocktail. We talked about it briefly on cocktails, but we didn't go into a lot of detail about our experience. So I'm gonna go into more detail about my experience, because we definitely had very different experiences because we didn't do everything together. Most things we didn't do together. So it's cool to be able to go somewhere together but still have totally unique experiences. So I'll talk more about that later, but overall it was cool. It is an all-inclusive resort. They have lots of different options for food, plenty of drinks. I was drinking way too much champagne, and then it was just like, I was drinking champagne for so long, I feel like I developed some major gas issues, and I wasn't drinking enough water, way too much champagne, like ginger ale and other bubbly drinks, and then I was getting cravings for Dr. Pepper and Sprite and stuff. And so then by the time Christmas rolled around, my stomach was hurting so bad. I missed so many things. I wasn't feeling well. That wasn't the only thing that I didn't feel well because of, but I was just sick. I was sick. My stomach was hurting. My back was hurting. My foot was hurting. I was just in pain. I wasn't in a good mood, and we still had to record these episodes and do all this stuff. And I was trying to put a smile on and my best foot forward, but I know that I failed a lot with that, as I often do. But I try to keep pushing because I still have responsibilities. But I'm alive, and I just, no alcohol, no drinking. I barely ate. I did an enema around Christmas. It was just bad. Like, I didn't really do much at the Christmas Eve party, and usually I stay there and shut it down. I left early. I left at the same time as my little sister Madison does, and she's usually the first one to go from the family functions and stuff. So it was just a rough time. But while I was home for Christmas, my sister had this bright idea to make a song. She wanted to do it for her birthday. I convinced her to do it during Christmas time so that we could have the song done and ready by her birthday if she wanted to post something, post a vlog or whatever. So we vlogged the experience, finished the song. It's called Drip. I had so much fun doing it. And it was just like a fun thing to do. We had a good time making the song and just the whole experience. We went to a studio and recorded it. We were in there for hours and hours and hours. It was just a good time though. And it's always fun, like doing something that pushes you outside of your comfort zone that you can do just for fun, and sharing that experience with your siblings. So I hope that you guys try to do that and connect or reconnect with your family, with your friends, anybody you're missing, anybody who you haven't really done much with. Hit them up and like find something different to do, find something fun to do. As much as I love going out to eat, sometimes I don't want to just eat. I want to do something. So that was just, it was just so much fun. And so now we're like, oh, we really like this song. And that was really fun. Let's make a music video. So we'll see what happens. But it was a great experience. And then I came back home. Somewhere along the way there, I decided that I need an emotional support pet. So that's where I got Whitley from. Or that's why I got Whitley. So I was on this website. I started getting ads. I was looking for dogs online. I wasn't sure what kind of dog. I had an idea, but I just wasn't really sure. And then I started getting ads for a website called Pawrade, Pawrade, like parade, but Pawrade for paws. And they have dogs on there. I don't know if they have cats, but I did not want a cat, so it doesn't matter. Anyway, I was on there looking. They had so much information, and basically they're like a middleman for breeders, and they have this website with all of these different breeders who put their dogs on there. And I found one that I really liked. We had the same birthday, but she was really expensive. And then next thing I know, somebody had bought her. So kept looking, and I was going back and forth between a Cavapoo or a Havapoo or a Maltipoo. Couldn't decide. And then I found Whitley. So Whitley's original name was Waverly. Boo. And it's funny because she had a sister named Whitley, but her sister Whitley had been adopted already. Anyway, I kept looking at her, and then it shows the birthday and like their sign, like that really matters, but it showed, and her birthday was September 4th, and y'all know I love me some Beyonce. So I decided that was the one that I wanted, and I slept on it, kept checking. I asked the breeder a bunch of questions. We went back and forth. They sent me more pictures, more information, really got to know them better. And then I decided, you know what, just do it. You've been thinking about doing something like this for years, and I thought it would be good for me. Now, she's my emotional support pet, and I was hoping that she would help with my anxiety and feeling sad and lonely and things like that. But this girl is very anxious herself. So I don't know who's helping who, but I'm so glad I got her. And I've had her for a couple of weeks now. I got her at the end of December. So New Year's Eve, I didn't do anything. I was in the house and I watched TV. Whitley was here. And did I drink some champagne? Yep, drank some champagne. My stomach was feeling better by then. I was a little nervous. But I enjoyed it. My friend came over, his son, and we had a chill New Year's Eve. And then New Year's Day, I made the traditional New Year's meal. And I haven't really sat down and did a lot of goal setting, but I think that I'll do that tonight. Sometimes I find it hard because I'm doing so many things at once, but I've got to stop and like really think about things and not get caught up in the moment and really plan, because I do better whenever I do take the time to do that. So that was my 2023 wrap up. I will do some more extended videos and I'll tell you whether they make it to Patreon or you'll see them here if you're subscribed. But remember to subscribe, click the bell so that you get the notifications whenever I do post new videos. And thank y'all for watching. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think about anything that I said or any ideas you have about places to go, things to do, things to try, videos to make, like whatever it is that you guys are interested or want to see more of or know more of in my life. I plan to share and be more vulnerable on my YouTube, and also just share some of the random interests that I have that don't really fit cocktails, because that's really the only place that I really share any part of me. And so I want to do some stuff that is totally off base with cocktails, and this will be the place. So interact with me, follow me on Instagram, follow Whitley on TikTok. We'll be posting soon if we haven't already. And I guess that's it. Thank you guys. Bye.